Since the creation of this game, the dawn of time essentially, there's been an elusive ore, so rare and hidden in such dangerous locations, few have attempted to collect it. But for the mighty few who defeated the game's great creatures, they were able to get some of this precious ore, but then have no idea what to do with it. But fortunately, I do. Hello everyone, I'm Kibitz and welcome back to Satisfactory. Where have you been playing this game for a little while? You may have traveled to the edges of the world through the deepest of the caves. And sometimes when you do, you stumble across the oldest and most mysterious thing in the video game. Spiders. But also, S.A.M ore. And although this has been in the game since the game's release, there's not a lot known about it. It's just called S.A.M ore, or strange alien metal, that glistens with new possibilities. But today, we're gonna be going over everything we know about S.A.M ore, as well as some of the community theories and some personal theories I came up with. But first off, something we all know, and that is super not a theory, is that you guys should remember to leave a like. Getting into things though, one thing we do all know is that S.A.M ore is extremely strange in the way that it's always guarded by the worst enemies, and also in the most obscure places in the world. But the real strange thing with S.A.M ore is that it's unlike any other ore in the game where it's not infinite. Because whenever you set up a mine or anything on a S.A.M ore node, it doesn't matter what the purity is, you'll only get 15 to 99 S.A.M ore from it. So yeah, we got 50 and the machine stopped. So what does that mean then? Oh, it stacks into, oh, look at that, I'm learning something new here myself. It only stacks in stacks of 50, unlike all the other materials which stack in stacks of 100. And also, you can also see that we only got that 51 S.A.M ore, and now the whole machine is stopped. We're not getting any more from this node until we restart our game session. So why does it work like that? Why would they limit the amount of S.A.M ore we could get? And just, there's so many other questions that we'll deal with down the line. However though, you can technically get infinite S.A.M ore, it's just really difficult. Because with the lizard doggos, after a little while, they'll find something. And according to their loot table, they can find S.A.M ore. However, as you can see, it is literally one of the rarest things they can find, just above Sluggo Boys. So odds are you'll get nuclear waste instead of S.A.M ore, so this might not be the best method, but it might be one of the only methods to get it. And it also just goes to show how valuable this S.A.M ore must be. Like, why are the developers making it so freaking rare? And clearly the developers don't want you to waste it, because you can't even put it into the resource sink. Try and throw it in, but resource sink's gonna be like, bruh, don't do that. So the plot just continues to thicken. But there is one thing we do know, and that was a comment made about it by one of the developers at some point in time, where they said mostly this would be used by players nearing the end of the game to solve problems around their factories they might not want to deal with as much at that point. So yeah, that's a little vague, but it's something, right? Man, trust me, in my playthrough, there's a lot of leaking problems I don't want to deal with. So really it seems like S.A.M ore could just be used for anything. However, there are plenty of theories online about what this could be used for. One of which kinda stems from a developer comment, and that's that flying machines would not be added to Satisfactory, which is kinda oof, especially considering how big the map is. And like, trains are nice and all, but it still takes like 5 minutes to get from one point to the other, even going full speed. So perhaps the strange alien metal is used in a teleporter. And, you know, considering we're playing a game that has space elevators and drop pods that head into the atmosphere, it's not really hard to imagine that perhaps they could add teleporters too. And like, all things considered, we have the technology to power such a crazy thing too. And this theory also kind of ties into the fact that you can only get a limited amount of S.A.M ore. Because if you could just make infinite teleporters, why build hyper tubes? Why be jumping around on bounce pads? You just teleport from A to B to C, boom, boom, boom. And that really trivialized transport a little too much. But hey, that's just one theory. Another theory in the same vein is that S.A.M would be used for item teleportation. So perhaps there's a new type of bin that connects to your pocket dimension. Aha, because this is a pocket dimension, right? We don't actually have that big of pockets. You see, overall it's not that crazy. Yeah, we have our pocket dimension. So maybe, you know, we'd add like a bin or some type of machine that could connect up with our pocket dimension, so we could always just send more items into it. And that way you don't need elaborate storage rooms or insane production trains to carry items around for you. You can just run around and have fun. And this also kind of ties into another game mechanic where you have your body slot and then you have hand slots. But you can only have one item in your body slot at a time. So you could have blade runners, you could have a modded exosuit if you chose, you could have your jetpack, etc., etc. Perhaps maybe this item teleporter would be like a backpack that like wired into your pocket dimension or something like that. And that way it would keep the game more balanced as well, because you couldn't be flying around or running around super fast with infinite items in your inventory. But aside from teleportation, remember that quote from earlier where it said that S.A.M would help you solve problems near the end of the game? Well, considering the average player probably doesn't make like a super mega base, and it'd probably take them like a long time to make a turbo motor, then perhaps you could use the S.A.M ore to clone items. So for example, you'd have one bin with the S.A.M ore. S.A.M ore would go into assembler. Then the other bin, you could put something like a supercomputer, and they both enter the assembler. Da-da-da-da-da, magic happens, and out pops 2 supercomputers. Huh? So you can use it to replicate items. And that could be pretty dang handy, especially for casual players. Or perhaps the S.A.M ore is used in crafting and you have to build some kind of space elevator part, and that's how you win the game. And that'll kind of force you to travel throughout the world looking for all these S.A.M nodes so you can make this special end game item. And then, you know, win. Complete project assembly, clap, and do it again. Okay though, I'll stop messing around here. To be honest, those theories, they might or may not be added, but I already kind of know what S.A.M ore does. I went into the code of the game and I figured it out. It's pretty much right there. So, bit of a spoiler, but you actually use the S.A.M ore to make a sonic screwdriver. And then with the sonic screwdriver, you see, you can use this to open up this police box. But this isn't actually a police box. It's a time machine. It's called a TARDIS. And it's bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. And we can use this to not only travel through time, but through dimensions. Just have to close the door, and away we go. Okay, yeah, it's a little weird when you change dimensions, but you know what, it's all right. Over there, you kinda got bugged out. We got like hearts now instead of our bar, but you know what, that's okay. We made it to somewhere new. We've made it into Minecraft. Oh boy, Minecraft. So now, we can run around and gather materials from this dimension and bring them back to our factory for processing. Luckily, I've already ran around here a little bit, gathered up a couple things, and we can just head straight back. So, let's rock and roll. And we're back in Satisfactory. Cool. Except now that we got those blocks, I don't know like how the technology works, like with our suit and all of this, but our gun thing now can craft all the Minecraft blocks. Cool. So, we can just make a couple planks here, build ourselves a nice little house. And yeah, there you go, you can use stuff from another dimension in Satisfactory. So I assume like the late game is just you traveling from dimension to dimension, gathering up every technology in the known universe, or known universes, and just having fun, doing whatever, and enjoying yourself. Anyway though, those are all the theories I have for you today. So if you guys enjoyed, again, please remember to leave a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next video. But have a fantastic rest of your day, and bye-bye.